$400 an hour dates this man forced me to take and stole all of the money. And the state of Illinois was fully aware that this was taking place. As I said, this was going on with Dylan as my protection husband, lover, the person who I was supposed to spend the rest of my life with, the person who I spent every Saturday and Sunday going to visit, purchasing his fucking his convenience store euros that were found in a vending machine for $8 each, and spending $30 of gas to get all the way to Bolingbrook, and showing up on time, and eventually being subjected to being jumped and stabbed by 3 women, one of whom was in one of the visits there. And it was suspected that he may have been involved in ordering that hit against me for whatever reason. I don't know. I've never been able to receive any sort of clarity from him on whether or not he was involved. And I was subjected to a whole world of hurt and pain and suffering. My children lived with me the entire time that was going on. I was working mostly in promotions, nightlife, being a courtier, high class, the W, the Peninsula, going to, places like dates, like fancy dinners, Smith and Walensky, Mastros, things of that nature, things in that neighborhood. And that's what life was looking like. So I was slowly dying from doing that. I am a very monogamous person traditionally. That's how I have been programmed my entire life to believe. But not everyone is. And it was killing me. And I was crying on the phone with Dylan, and I didn't know what to do. And he kept on saying, as soon as I get home, you'll never have to do that again. I will take care of you. Everything will be okay. I will buy you your house. I already had worked for almost 12 years in healthcare, if you include my education, and had 3 small babies. Rather than any of that happening when he got out, they cast us on a reality show very, very briefly. I was in maybe 6 episodes where they depicted me to be pretty much insane in an effort to hide everything that had gone on. And basically not allow any of those people who were guilty of abusing me to believe that I was a credible witness to speak on my own behalf. So the state, in a collusion with numerous other people, began publicly referring to me as crazy and a liar and a psycho. And they took my children and separated them from me and each other and gave them to their fathers without a court order to do so. The only court order that stands to this day from Judge Mary True and Naomi Schuster names me as the primary custodial parent of all 3 of my older 3 children. Fast forward several years, and there's a bunch of details, and I've gone into this on numerous other videos. I'm just fucking exhausted right now. I don't have a desire to keep doing this. You're forcing me. You're torturing me until you force me to discuss this. And so I met Xavier after spending almost 2 years of being thrown into the street, after being publicly accused of being the state of Illinois' witness and a criminal informant, which I'm neither of those things. And the state of Illinois changed my insurance card from Blue Cross Blue Shield to Molina in a very badgering and obvious, harassing way. Molina, secret spy, CI. So they've got all of these perceived hardened criminals under the impression that I'm a spy or a mole, threw me outside into the street basically to die after being jumped and stabbed 11 times by 3 random women, bludgeoned with a tire iron, and needing 3 to 6 staples in the back of my head to close that wound. Xavier and I meet. He gets me pregnant. They steal Weston. Now my 2.5-year-old is in the system, and Xavier has not shown up to any of the fucking court dates. All he has done is make me force him, beg him to even come into the court lounge area. His name is not on any of the documents, and the court, as corrupt as they are, charged me with contempt of court, civil contempt of court, for documenting any of this on the internet. So I stopped. After I completed all of the services that they forced me to complete, drug class, drug rehab, parenting coaching, parenting classes, 2.5 years of once or every other week therapy, multiple evaluations independently. I decided that since they don't want me to be a mom to my son, and their plan was to put me in jail today for another allegation of civil contempt where they cause third parties to have to pay a dollar amount each day to keep me from imprisonment, that I would just let them keep my son with his grandmother, Xavier's mother, which is supposedly where he is. It's been almost 3 years of this. It's been about 10 years, 12 years of solid abuse, where my life consistently comes into question, and I'm done with it. There's nothing wrong with my mental health. I want to live. I don't want to be abused anymore. I'd say those are pretty fucking good signs of a positive mental health. When you're hurting me, when you're torturing me, when you're forcing me to go through all of this, I would rather be asleep. I would rather never wake up. That's not a mental health condition. That's called common sense. Hi, would you like me to pluck off your toenails one by one, or would you like me to sedate you and remove them?